Mike Mallett here from DirtTrackDigest.com, joined by Jeremie Corcoran, the new promoter at the Orange County Fair Speedway. And first off, Jeremie, what the hell are you thinking, man? You live up here in Central New York, but taking this chance, the opportunity now to go down and help one of my favorite racetracks. Everybody knows me, knows I love Orange County, but taking the chance now and the opportunity to go down there and be the promoter.
Well, it all started back a few years back when they called me to go look at the place to put new clay down. We put a new surface down. It was good, and then unfortunately it's gotten contaminated over the last couple of years and stuff, with guys driving equipment out there and dumping shit on there for, some other shows they had. So, I went back a few times, and everybody the track's been better, and Brett tried to do his own thing, and unfortunately he's a race car driver. He's definitely not a track preparer and stuff like that. So, but then Chris called me at the beginning of this year. I went and did the opener, and it was decent. And then I left, and then, of course, everybody knows what happened. And then Chris called me Monday and said, hey, you want to come back for the rest of the year? I said, well, I will, but in one circumstance, I need to run the place because I can't leave and have something done after I leave, and that's hard for anybody. Anybody would do that. So I decided, we talked about it. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'm away from my son racing, and everybody knows that at Orange County, and of course the wonderful world of Facebook has me, leaving in a few weeks because my kid's winning races and all that.
Well, if he's winning races, he's not going to want you there. No offense.
Well, absolutely, yeah. No, me and him honestly are like oil and water. We get along and then don't get along. So it's great seeing him do his own thing. He's got to learn a lot more about a race car, how to put one together and all that. But he's learning. He's doing well with it. We hired a guy to run on Saturdays at Canandaigua with him. That was my biggest thing. Is during the week I can get the car ready for Fridays for him when I leave, and then he goes and races. And of course, we watch Dirt Track Digest on Fridays.
That's a good plug right there. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, and if you know the deal, when I'm in Victory Lane, if we're down there, when we got rained out, I had a Dirt Track Digest sweatshirt on, and without sponsors like you and Power Seal and Scott Jefferson, of course Hallmark, Chris and Hallmark, he's done a lot for us over the few years as our major sponsor and stuff like that. We've become friends, and I feel that I need to help him. Orange County's been a staple for years, and everybody knows this is his last year in the lease. And, I got to try to convince him to change his mind. And, we haven't talked. He hasn't said he's not coming back, but, he's got to have fun again and stay at Orange County. Because honestly, like I said, I've never talked to anybody. I've not talked to Mike Gerda, but, if he leaves, I don't see this being a racetrack next year because the amount of money he's paying for purses and stuff is crazy. We just, he has a lot of races. He's got a lot of money on the line every week, and he was hoping to grab some guys weekly. But, the travel expense, it's huge, and we'll touch base with that. And that's, we'll go right into this. This is why the World of Outlaw late model race is canceled. You heard it. It's out there right now as we're doing this. But him and I talked, and, there's some drivers that have dropped off the tour. And I know it's going to upset Facebook world. There's one thing out there that wants to destroy Orange County, but it doesn't make sense. Dollars for dollar, it's over $100 and some odd $1,000 for them 2 days of purse. And if we race and have 12, 15 late models, then the fans are going to get mad. So they may get mad now that we cancel them. Granted, we got to do something. We're going to look at this, the season passes and all that stuff because that race was included, which I just found out about. So some of the stuff that they've done down there, I don't agree with. So, that's going to be some changes and stuff like that. So, we're going to try to do something with that, being said, because that like 5 minutes before this, somebody just emailed me and asked me if, what we're going to do with the season passes because of the World of All the Late Models. That's all going to be worked out. I'm trying to do the best I can. I've walked into a lot of messes that's going on at the place, and nobody's ever around there. It was always a he said, she said, this said. I'm running the place. So I've said that in the drivers' meeting. I'll say that here. There's nobody above me as far as running the place. Chris, he comes and goes when he wants. That's why I'm in the position. That's why Brett was in the position. But he just had to leave. He had to go. And, we're going to move on. And like I said, hopefully I can get Chris to stay next year. Because if he stays, I'll be there next year. I told him as long as he's there, I will be there. So I am not leaving. I'm not going to just get pissed off and because my kid's winning races or wrecking and I got to come back and fix the car. I'm going to be there. I'm not going anywhere.
Obviously, anybody that knows you, but for those fans that don't know you from, say, the Orange County area, this is not your first foray into racetrack promotion, racetrack, prepping. I mean, you've done all of this at numerous places in the past.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I started out working at Brewerton and Fulton Speedway, and then back in the day when Harvey bought Fulton Speedway, I owned half of Fulton Speedway with him. Then he bought me out, and I still worked there and stuff. I promoted. Then I left there and promoted Mohawk for 8 years, and then I ran Canandaigua for 7 years. So this isn't my first rodeo, and honestly, at Canandaigua, I don't have as many employees that are at Orange County. They don't need as many that's there, but they're there and they're going to stay unless, you know, you don't want to deal with the changes, because there's multiple changes coming, and somebody got mad at me Saturday night and quit. You know, do it yourself. Well, I can wash toilets and do dishes and serve pizzas and race direct and be a safety truck driver and a flagger and all that stuff. I can't do everything at once. A lot of guys are working with me because they know change and they know it's needed. You know, and like I told people, I don't want to hear this is the way it's always been, because look at Orange County right now. Unfortunately, it's at the bottom of the totem pole. You know, so we're going to try. I'm going to do my damnedest to try to bring it back. If I can, I can. I know it's going to be a struggle because there's so many people out there that are totally against Orange County. You know, they always complain about it, but those are the ones that just have to go to a different racetrack, I guess, and hopefully we can get new fans that don't complain as much. When I had Canandaigua, I had the same thing. You know, they don't like change, they don't like this, they don't like that, but, you know, and I had a racer come up to me, but he didn't like all the other promoters there. So the common denominator is one guy, it's yourself, you know, but no, it's going to be a task. But 2 weeks ago, somebody said, you cannot turn this place around, and all that does is just put the fire in me to even do it more and try to make it better. And I'm fair. I'm fair with everybody. You know, there's no favorites there. And somebody brought up to me the other day, oh, if your kid does something, you're going to do that. And Tyler knows he's a number on the racetrack. And he said that. He goes, Dad, I'm a number. If I do something wrong, and if my race director doesn't penalize Tyler Corcoran when he races down there, then he's going to be fired on the spot. You know, and anybody. That's how I am. Any businessman would do the same thing. You can't do that, you know.
You talked about some changes. You know, I know the one thing that you brought up to me, and you and I talking prior to this, was putting down some new clay again, like bringing the surface back to what it was when you first put it down. I know I was there for that first time. I want to say it was the All-Stars, and they were running up on the wall. I mean, I loved it, but I'm a Central New York guy. You know, everybody down there, that was not their normal style, their cup of tea. But I know new clay's coming. You got obviously some changes, you know, try to get rid of some of the dust issues and all those other things.
Yeah, absolutely. Clay's coming June 7th, 8th, and 9th, I think. 6th, 7th, 8th. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then that's not the reason why we canceled the late model show, and that's 2 weeks after. I've done this several times in a week. Like I had a driver's meeting. Yes, we have that Smash-tacular. That's going to happen. That's an enduro. So if I have to stop working on it and putting clay down and have the enduro Saturday, we'll have the enduro, and then I'll be back to work and finish the track on Sunday, Monday, whatever we got to do. We're putting 250 loads of clay down, so we're going to do the whole thing just like we did before. And that should have lasted 10 years, but over the years, it's been contaminated. It's been, you know, tore up with a tiller every week. It's been dissed. It's been, you know, added oil to it, or not oil, but, you know, track prep for dust and this and that. And then, you know, the whole sulfur thing that the last thing was the last straw with Chris. And it's just so contaminated. It was better Saturday night. And I had somebody say, oh, it's so dusty, the drivers can't see. And most drivers that I talk to, they could see out there. On the restart, you're going to have that. It's a dirt track. You're going to have dust. Then maybe they want to go back to what they had, but it'll never be that way, because right now in the whole world of this thing, you can't afford to put 2 tires on a car at $225 a tire right now, because you're putting 2 to 3 tires on a night. How can you afford to do that? You know, and that the black slick stuff, it makes for good racing when the track's good. If you can get an outside, which there was an outside, and hopefully I can get a outside again, but when you got black slick, you're not replacing drivetrains. You're not replacing, you know, a rim and a tire or something. When you know, how many real bad crashes has there been at Middletown since we've gone to that? You know, it's a lot better, and it's slowed down. Granted, some guys don't like it. You know, I've been called all sorts of names when we changed the track, but that's what Chris wanted. That's what he got. And I remember the first night we practiced on it, Tyler Boniface was scrubbing his rear bumper off the wall, and somebody said to Chris, when's the last time you seen it in Orange County? He goes, never. And he goes, this is why I got the guy here, you know, because I can prep a racetrack. You know, there's people out there that don't like the way I prep racetracks, but you talk to most racers, you know, unless you're from down south, Jersey or Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they like a little bit different track prep, maybe a berm about like this. Yeah, you are not their best friend. But up here, Central New York, you know, guys that have raced on your tracks, like Matt Shepard, Stu, Larry, those guys, they know what you do and they know what to expect when it's a Jeremie Corcoran prep track.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's consistent. When I had Canandaigua, they know it. They have a little bit of bite in the heat races and it'd be black slick by feature time, and those guys are running 3-4 wide coming back from 15th, 16th, 17th and going to the front. Hopefully we're going to be able to do that when we get the new clay down. It's about an hour away. It's actually reddish brown clay. It's not, everybody says all that shit was junk before when they got it, but that's the whole, when something in Middletown I see gets put on Facebook or around the neighborhood, it all gets spun around that it came out of the river, it came out of this, but yeah.
That's the internet, man. And if it's on the internet, Jeremie, it must be true.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so you can't, come on. You can't trust that.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's it. And I don't even read it. And some people send me stuff, and it's funny because I laugh at it, but I'm not on Facebook. I don't see what they say. I don't honestly care what they say. If you got something to say, either show up and show me that you can do it better. Like I've said before, hey, if you can do better, come there. Everybody says, oh, you need to water during intermission, water the racetrack. But honestly, if you water a racetrack during intermission, it brings dust. I know the people are going to argue, but I've done this 35 years. I went to Arizona to do the racetracks. I went to Michigan to do racetracks. I did Volusia. Probably the only track I haven't really worked around here is Charlotte. I haven't never worked at Charlotte, but anywhere else I pretty have gone to and put clay down and all that stuff. I just helped Mike Perotti. He had a hole up in turn 1 and 2, so I went up there a couple weeks ago and helped him and stuff like that. So I've been all over the place. So this isn't my first rodeo, like you said, and it's just some like me, some don't. You know what I mean? But hey, as long as Chris is happy, I want to please everybody, but as long as he's happy and we can convince him to stay, Orange County will keep going.
What other changes, if you have any, do you think fans and drivers and everybody can expect to see, as you get your fingerprints more over Orange County and what's going on there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's dumped a ton of money into the place, so I don't know what I can do. After I had a driver and somebody said, hey, can you change the lighting here? I said, man, I just took this over with. I can't spend another $200,000 on new lighting. And he laughed. He goes, I know, but can you clean some of the light bulbs, because some of the outside lights are dirty. So I got to get on a man lift or see if we can get somebody down there to take them out and clean them, because if you can't see the light bulb, the light's not getting through. Mm-hmm. And when we put the clay down, I'm going to look at cutting turn 1 wall back somewhat and getting rid of them outside tires that are against that wall. Everybody thinks it's a softer barrier, but man, them things are rock hard, and I've seen some tore up racetracks. So if I can cut that wall back a little bit and get a radius started and go out onto the racetrack, so when that whole entrance there, they up in 1, if we can just keep that going and come out of there at an angle. Other than that, I'm gonna paint the walls and all that stuff. Hopefully, when we put the clay down, so when we come back, it's gonna kind of be a whole new look. You know what I mean? We're gonna have different color clay. Walls will be painted. But like I said, I try to do everything myself, because then if something goes wrong, it's blamed on me. It's not, oh, this did it, he did it, he said it, she did it, whatever. If it goes wrong, it's me. And everybody's offered to help me put clay down, but I just did Weedsport over the winter. We got a race there this Sunday. I'm doing a racetrack for that. And then after that, the guy's going to take it over. But I like to see the first thing. So like I said, that's all really that I can do. Other than that, I don't think there's going to be any changes down the pike right now, but just try to spruce the place up the best I can.
I know this. I'm ready for Eastern States. Not to wish the summer away, but that is my favorite modified race of the year. So, and I'll tell you, last year, not to give you too much credit here, because then I got to pat you on the back and all that. And God knows everybody hates that on the internet too. But I loved Eastern States last year. Fantastic race, and obviously you did the track for that, and it was great. So I mean, looking forward, I assume same thing. You're gonna give it your all, obviously, and I would expect big changes. And good luck to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of looking for Eastern States weekend too, because they changed some rules last year, and I'm going to take a hard look at that and try to change it back to the way it was, as far as radios, the quick fill system, locking the top 6 in for sportsmen, something that they've done for years, and all of a sudden they changed it last year, and drivers were complaining, and I was one of them because my son was there, and I'm not changing it because of that. It's just everybody was complaining about it because it got changed, and why did we change it? And it was one person that wanted to change it, and he's no longer there. So, but no, it's it. I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I just want to touch base on the World of Outlaws being canceled. We're not racing on Friday night, but we will be racing a normal show on, so I shouldn't say normal show on Saturday night, but big blocks. We're going to have that 358 makeup race that we got rained out a couple weeks ago, Sportsman, and then I have to look at the schedule to see as far as the rookies and the street stocks to see who was running more and all that stuff, because both of those classes bring a decent amount of cars, but I don't think I could fit all the cars in the pits if I do both. I'd want to do both just because and everybody's coming out on the new clay, and you said it, the wonderful world of Facebook is they've canceled because of the new clay and all this stuff. That is not it. It's not going to be rough. It's not going to be, and if you go back to looking at all that, when we did it the first time, Tony, the All-Star Sprints were there, and they were all nervous about it. And then, they all talk, and then they find out I'm doing a racetrack, and not to pat myself on the back, but they all kind of calm down when they know that I was doing it. Because I used to go to Berlin, Michigan, and put it right on asphalt. And, everybody saw it's not going to combine with the other one. I put it right on asphalt, and you don't need to. We're going to go right over the top of it, 6-8 inches thick, probably to a foot at the top. Hopefully, put some more. I'm going to try to put some more banking in it, but we've got a budget that we want to be at, so we got to stay within that budget, and then just play it by ear after that.
Well, there he is. You heard it from him. You heard it from him. All right. If you have any questions, obviously you can contact him. Info is on the Orange County Fair Speedway website. But there he is, the new promoter of the Orange County Fair Speedway, Jeremie Corcoran. Jerry, thanks a lot. My name is Mike Mallett from DirtTrackDigest.com. Be sure to check out all the great news notes and everything else you can find on our website.